The grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Life. Our last video, we were talking about prophets, apostles, saints, set apart ones, elect in this world. When you are chosen, you have certain characteristics and certain attributes about yourself that others can see. And because Israel has enemies on this earth, they watch Israel. Like I've often said, Israel is the most gang-stalked nation on the earth. They're watched to see when these holy ones will rise out of Israel. Prophets, apostles, saints, elect. When they rise out of Israel, they counterattack through espionage, like spy work. They counterattack and they attack that person because of the attributes that they display. Because Abba is using that person, so they counter that by attacking this person. Well, today we call it gang stalking. We call it slander. We call it smear campaigning. We call it narcissistic attack. Whatever words you want to call it. It's right here in the scripture. We want to read about it so that we can get some insight to how this happens. Go to the book of Judges. We'll start at chapter 16. Well, no, we'll start at chapter 12. 13, sorry. We'll start at chapter 13. Judges chapter 13, we'll start at verse 1. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Abba, and Abba delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years. So what happened here? Israel did evil, turning away from the Most High, as you always read in the scripture. And because of that, he delivered them into the hand of the Philistines for 40 years. So the Philistines are an enemy to Israel. And because of Israel's wrongdoing, they were delivered into the hand of the Philistines. You see that? And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah. And his wife was barren and bare not. Okay, so Dan, the tribe that was cut off from Israel at this time, was a part of the unified nation of Israel. And there was a man named of the Danites named Zorah. Okay? Zorah was the place he was from, excuse me. His name was Manoah. What does Manoah mean? Manoah means rest or quiet. Manoah, like Noah, comfort, rest. See the name? And his wife, and his wife was barren and bare not. And the angel of Abba appeared unto the woman, and said unto her, Behold now, thou art barren, and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine, nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite unto El from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. To deliver Israel. How do you say Yah delivers in Hebrew? Yashaya, deliverer. So a deliverer is a Yashaya of Israel, you see? So, like I told you, the enemies of Israel will watch Israel to see when a mighty deliverer will arise. And if he does, they will seek to stamp him out or destroy him like they did Samson, you see? Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of El came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of El, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told me he his name. But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now drink no wine, nor strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to El from the womb to the day of his death. A Nazarite. You see that? Was Christ a Nazarite from Nazareth? You see? Was Christ a deliverer? Was he plotted against, smear campaign, gang stalked, attacked, crucified, murdered unjustly? You see what I'm trying to explain to you, elect? Let's continue. But he said unto me, Let me go ahead. Verse 8. Then Manoah entreated Abba and said, O Abba, let the man of El, which thou didst send, come again unto us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. Okay? So the angel came back and gave them direction, told them what to do. Now we want to jump ahead. Verse 24. And the woman bare a son, see, and called his name Samson, and the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the spirit of Abba began to move him at times in the camp of Dan, between Zorah and Eshtaol. So the spirit of Abba was upon him. Now what did Christ say? The spirit is upon me. See how it's all connected? A chosen one, a chosen deliverer. See? This is Samson being born. Now listen closely to this. This is chapter 14, verse 1. And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Remember the book of Tobit, for all of you who know. My son, choose not a strange wife. For our forefathers all chose wives of their own kindred, of their own house, of their own nation, of their own father's house, and were blessed in their offspring. Remember Jacob and Esau. They were told, don't go and get a daughter of the Canaanites. What did Esau do? He went and got Canaanite wives. What did Jacob do? He married according to what Tobit said. Same thing, you see? Now, why am I telling you this? Because Samson, who is the chosen one of Abba, the deliverer, the Nazarite, sees a daughter of the Philistines, which are the enemies of Israel. Keep listening. And he came up and told his father and his mother. And he said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. I've seen this woman I like. Go get her for me to wife. Now listen to what his parents are going to say. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren? You hear that? Among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? What does uncircumcised mean? Their heart is covered over. They're hard-hearted. They're not empathetic. They're not tender-hearted. Their conscience is seared with a hot iron. That's what uncircumcised means. Hard-hearted people, cold-hearted. Why did you go get one of those daughters, is what his mother and his father said. We ain't got no woman here that you can be with. Same thing that all of the prophets, forefathers have told us to do. You see? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleases me well. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of Abba that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. So this was Abba was using this, what Samson was doing, as an opportunity to attack the Philistines. You see, he took the evil and made good. He took the bad and made positive out of it. You see, which is what he always does. All right. Let's see. So he has this propensity, in other words, to search after these daughters of the Philistines, these other nations, for wives. That's the point I wanted to get there. I don't want to hold too much time on that. Let's jump ahead, though. Chapter 16. Verse 1. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went into her. Here we go. So Samson loves the woman. He loves women, you see. So he sees a prostitute here, and he goes and lays with the prostitute. And it was told the Gazites, the people from where he was at, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, In the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. You see? So they heard that he was in there with the prostitute. They said, it's all right, we're going to wait for him to come out in the morning, they will kill his ass. You see? But that didn't happen. We want to jump ahead a little bit more. Verse 4. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman. Here it is again. This is 3 times. I'm skipping all through the book and I'm still hitting 3 times. You see what I'm saying about Samson? See what's going on here? That he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek whose name was Delilah. Listen carefully here, elect. And the lords of the Philistines, which means the most powerful men of the Philistine people, who are the enemies of Israel, we read earlier, came up unto her. Who? Delilah. So they've been watching Samson. They see he falls in love with this woman named Delilah. And then they come to Delilah. Did y'all hear that? They come to Delilah and they said unto her, entice him, seduce him, lure him, you see, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him. And we will give thee, every one of us, 1,100 pieces of silver. Now, y'all may not know this, but recently there was a case of pro boxer Gervonta Tank Davis. He was accused of domestic violence, and his baby mama called the police on him, and made it a big thing, and it all spread. He got the mugshot. He was arrested. Well, come to find out, she said she lied. He never harmed her or the child involved. Gervonta Tank Davis comes out and says, they, whoever they is, tried this with my first baby mama. They offered her $50,000. I want y'all to hear that shit. So what Gervonta Tank Davis, who, let's just use him as an example, who would be considered a strong man. He's a boxer. He has great strength, able to knock people out. He has a gift from Abba. Well, if you want to destroy that or figure out what it is that he's doing to have that, then you're going to use the woman, according to this Bible here. Use the woman that he loved. Well, he has a baby with this woman. This woman got upset with Tank, took the toothbrush of his toothbrush and some toothbrushes and took it and dipped it in the diaper of the baby and put the shit on the toothbrush. And then lied and said that he had hit her and hit the child. And then came out and said, no, that didn't happen. I just made that up. And then he comes out and says, this already happened one time before with my first baby mama. Well, he's a prostitute here Samson was laying with. He fell in love with one woman and said, get her for me to wife. Timnath. He saw a woman in Timnath, the daughter of the Philistines, and he said, mother and father, get her for me to marry. Then he saw Delilah and loved her. And then they came and see this, you see? Can y'all follow this? How there's nothing new under the sun? Now the lords of the Philistines came to her, mighty rich men. Do you think Samson knew that? So then you, the anointed of the chosen of El, do you know that's happening to you behind your back? That your woman that you love is being petitioned to plot against you? Being paid money to destroy you? Well, it's right here in the Bible. And the Most High says, nothing new under the sun. So if the enemies of Israel was doing this back then, is they doing it now? Let's see what Delilah said. And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. She immediately went and did the shit. They said, we're going to pay you 1,100 pieces of silver. Each one of us is going to pay you. They're going to make her a rich woman to tear this man down. The anointed of God. Now, this being led by the red, I've often said before. Being led by the red. You see how Samson was being led by the red? Being led by his Johnson, we say. I'm saying led by the red, okay? You see how that was the case? Let's get some insight into that real quick. Let's jump to the book of James real quick. James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endures temptation. For when he is tried, when he is tested, he shall receive the crown of life, which Abba has promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of El, for El cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Enticed. What did those men tell Delilah to do to Samson? Entice him. But every man is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Oh, I love that woman. Go get her for me. Why you don't be with one of your own women? Oh, man, I want her, man. Go get her for me. Drawn away and enticed. Okay, man, if you cut my hair, man, then I'll get weak, man. Damn, you vexing me to death, the Bible says. She vexed him to death. Why? She wanted to get paid. It wasn't about that nigga. You hear that, Israelite man? She just want to get paid. She don't give a damn about you. Just like you just saw with Gervonta Tank Davis, a mighty man who was infiltrated with a woman who was putting shit on his toothbrush, lying to the whole public world, saying that he's a domestic violence guy, and he didn't do it at all. Domestic violence. Didn't they get Mike Tyson on a false rape allegation? He says he didn't do it. Didn't they get Floyd Mayweather for so-called domestic violence? Didn't they take Muhammad Ali and throw him in prison in the prime of his career? Do y'all get what I'm saying to you? Mighty men. Men that can affect change to their people. You see? Mighty men being attacked. But he says all men are tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Now, what happened to Samson? So let's see. He was enticed, according to what we read back here in Judges. Let's go back. He was enticed. Let's get that. Let's get that. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and said unto her, entice him. Now, what was the case before they came to her and told her to entice him? He loved her. Now, how often did you see him going after these women? More than one time. Did you hear me when I said Gervonta Tank Davis said they tried this with my first baby mama? So now, what is it, men? What is your duty as Israelite men who are being attacked in this way? Well, the forefathers taught us to marry in our own tribe, our own house, and our own kin. As uncomfortable as that makes a lot of you feel, as uncomfortable as it makes the world feel, well, what's more uncomfortable? Having shit on your toothpaste by a strange woman, or having a woman of your own family, own kin